Hello everybody and welcome back to NCAA 2004 in the Alabama Crimson Tide Dynasty mode here, and we have a very, very interesting story gracing the cover of Sports Illustrated as the number 3 Virginia Tech Hokies have lost a game to the West Virginia Mountaineers out of the Big East. So, very, very tough game for Virginia Tech. West Virginia helps us out, creating a little bit of space here, or moving one of these top 5 teams out of the BCS rankings here. So, taking a look at them real quickly here, Colorado State looks to be on a collision course to repeat, heading back to the BCS National Title game with Ohio State following behind them, but Oklahoma State and TCU are both undefeated at 3 and 4, and we slot in at 5. So Southern Miss is at 6 below us, but because I think our resume, the computer just likes us a little bit more, even with the loss, because our only loss is to the team that's in front of us right now in the BCS rankings, and that's TCU. So at least if we're going to lose to a team in the Conference USA, I would like for it to be a team that's currently ranked above us and also has a shot at the BCS National Title game. But a lot needs to happen for either of those teams, and a lot needs to happen for us to even move. So Southern Miss is, I think, currently ranked above us in the the coaches poll or in the media poll, but in the BCS rankings, we are currently ranked higher. So that's what matters at this point in the season, is what the BCS computer says, baby. That's all that matters. So we need Oklahoma State to lose, TCU to lose, Ohio State to lose. I don't even know if TCU losing would really help us out here because, again, TCU's our one loss is to them. So I don't know if things shake up that way, if we would even still get the selection or the benefit of the doubt over TCU, even though I bet our resume is still probably stronger than TCU's. Their best win is probably us, and they don't have another close one. We've beat a ranked Indiana, ranked Oklahoma, a ranked Arkansas, who was 5th. And if we manage to win today against Tennessee, it'll be another ranked win that we will get all in the same season. So no other team is playing a schedule like that, and that's why we keep losing games. Because maybe I need to pick an easier schedule. But either way, we are finally playing Tennessee. We're showcasing Tennessee on the channel once again after a down year that they had last year. We've still been winning this rivalry. There's no threat about that. We won it big last year. I can't even tell you the point total. It was ridiculous. Just go look at it. It was huge. But now Tennessee's put together a good team here in year 13, and they are looking to answer us back, but already things are off to a bad start as their quarterback, Demetric Boone, has already thrown an interception, and we have a nice opportunity heading the other way. And Lumpkin, still starting at quarterback here, has had himself a good stretch of games here. Fire off these stats here. He's got over 1,400 yards and 10 touchdowns, so listen to this, just 3 interceptions. So that is why we're sticking with Khaled Lumpkin right now, and he's winning us games here. Despite almost losing to Ball State a couple weeks ago, he is still winning us games. So that is the important thing to look at here. Dre Gates lost us a game here, and Cal Lumpkin has not, so that's what we're focusing on. But Lou Newsome here with a nice reception here is going to get us close to the first down, if not a first down. So fast forward to a 2nd and 6 inside the red zone. Lumpkin back to pass once again here, finds a wide open target, and it's Milligan once again across the middle. Milligan, as I said in the previous video, has been one of the unsung heroes of this team this year. Just a contributor that you really wouldn't think would be contributing at the level that he is, but he is. So on 3rd and goal now, they're going to hand it off to Blackman, trying to get into the end zone, but Blackman's got absolutely nowhere to go, and this stellar offensive line just completely fails our star running back because he's gobbled up in the backfield. So bring out Owens for a field goal. Hopefully we don't have any touchdown woes in this game like we did against Arkansas, because, man, man oh man. And it's really brutal. I'm just now noticing. It's really unfortunate that this is the year that we have all of our home games. And, when we manage to lose, typically this is the kind of year that we are a lock to go to the national title game, because we only lose road games. We don't lose home games. But because we lost that game to TCU, that kind of completely puts everything in flux and maybe even just squanders a good home year that we had. So maybe put a pin in that. Just something I noticed. But Tennessee's already flipped the field here, but on a 3rd and 13, Boone is going to dump this one off to one of these Tennessee receivers, Neil Savage, a sophomore without many stats to his name, but he's going to get brought down by Brock, shy of the line to gain. So the first quarter is going to come to an end. Our one field goal, the only points to speak of in this game so far in the 3rd Saturday in October. And so now Tennessee's going to bring out the kicking team here, going to try and cash in on some points if at all possible. The kick is up, and it is good. So Tennessee matches our field goal. It takes them the entirety of the first quarter to do it, but they do manage to finally add some points on the board, and we have a tie ball game 3-3 here in Tuscaloosa. So But heading the other way now, Lumpkin under some pressure, avoids it, moves in the pocket here and finds Milligan for a first down. But Milligan's going to fumble the football on his way down to the ground. All he had to do was just firmly grasp it on the way to the ground, and he just completely miffs it and fumbles the football. And now Tennessee's got gifted a golden opportunity. But that ball is tipped and passed around here before it is going to be picked off, I believe, by I think it's by John, or no. Yeah, it's John Paul. I thought it was John Paul. It's going to get picked off by John Paul. And this ball is going to be heading the other way. So we exchange turnovers very quickly, and now Cal Lumpkin and the boys have a golden opportunity. And Jones with the stiff arm is going to extend the play, but he's going to fumble the football himself, and we're going to fumble it back to Tennessee. And now Tennessee is gifted with another opportunity after another Alabama turnover. But again, keep in mind, these are not Cal Lumpkin turnovers, man. This receiving corps is letting him down. They're fumbling the ball. So for some reason, if we have Gates in, he's going to turn it over through interceptions. And if we have Lumpkin in, our team is going to turn it over through fumbles. I don't know why that has to be the competitive balance of NCAA04, but it's starting to get on my nerves. But now Tennessee here flips the field once again here with 5 yards to go to the line to gain here. And Boone sends a shot towards the end zone in double coverage. Somehow a volunteer receiver is going to come down with it. And Tennessee finally cashes in on this exchanging of turnovers. Tennessee's going to end up on the positive end of things as they get a touchdown here. Looking at the sheet here, I'm trying to see exactly who it was for Tennessee. It might have been a tight end, but it wasn't the number that we have. So 3rd and 3 now for the Crimson Tide heading the other way, and Lumpkin's pass is off the line, and it's going to be tipped and nearly intercepted here. I was trying to get to Cliff Herman, but just kind of threw it offline. So kind of a dangerous pass here for Lumpkin, but it wasn't turned over. But Signaben keeping the boys on the field here. He says, dude, you're going to figure this out. You're going to go out there and figure it out. And Lionel Blackman says, don't worry, coach. I got you covered. And he gets into the end zone for the first touchdown. And Blackman was really bailing out this offense against Arkansas, and he's going to do it again here against Tennessee, is just following the blocks, man. And that's the thing, too. We got to give the credit, give the flowers to the offensive line, because they definitely just cleared the path for Blackman to get into the end zone, and that is going to be another Alabama touchdown. We are knotted up at 10 apiece here in Tuscaloosa, but Boone and the Volunteers will not be silenced as he... look at that. There's 4 crimson jerseys. 4 of them. 4 crimson jerseys surrounding a white one, and somehow the white one's the one that has the football. I can't explain it. So 2nd and inches here, and pressure's on to Boone. He's going to get hit as he throws, and somehow a Tennessee receiver is going to be able to track that football through the air. I have no idea how. I have no idea how he was able to find that, to know that Boone even threw the football, because Boone got completely gobbled up and just completely smothered. Look at this. The pressure is on, just barely gets rid of the football. I have no idea how he does get rid of the football. We had pressure in there from a mile away. I think it was Ulrich who was in there and applying that pressure, but somehow the tight end James Holt manages to make the catch. I don't know. But Lionel Blackman is still here, making Tennessee's defense look stupid. Another spin move, and that spin move for Blackman is so lethal, man. Just so lethal. He's done so much so far in the last couple weeks. Just with relying on that spin move, and now he's going to get a huge rushing touchdown. And if you want the update, man, he's over 600 yards, and this game alone puts him over 700 yards, and now he's got touchdowns number 12 and 13 on the year. So he's still having a great year. After a slow start to the season, he's now had a great last few weeks here. And so 17-17 is your score, but Tennessee is still fighting back, and Boone finds another open target for another first down. And Boone has had himself a decent game here, so... Despite the struggles at the beginning of the game here with turnovers for both teams, Boone is putting together a pretty decent start here late in the first half. And so pressure is coming on, but Boone gets rid of it in time, and toe dragging in the back of the end zone. I believe it's going to be Sidney Fletcher, the top receiver for Tennessee, and he's going to phase through the wall and get on out of here after an amazing touchdown here. And pressure was coming on, and Boone got rid of it at the very, very last second. A nice athletic play, I believe, by Wagner to try and block this one. But Fletcher able to track the football. So at the end of the first half, Tennessee is going to hold on to a 7-point lead, and we are once again trailing at home at half. Back-to-back games that we're watching here. Not a good sign whatsoever. But Tennessee's going to cough the football again. We got so many Alabama players there. Someone just pick it up. Just somebody get on top of it. I don't care who, but just someone get on top of it. As Roberto Valentine fumbles the football for Tennessee after a nice pickup would have given Tennessee pretty solid field position. And now Lumpkin feels the pressure, and he's going to flush out of the pocket, and he's going to run for it. He's going to get the first down and get inside the 30 after breaking a tackle. And hey, you see that, guys? Anyone who fumbled so far in this game, you see that? Look at that. Cal Lumpkin got absolutely stood up, and he did not fumble the football. So just jot that down somewhere in your notes. Just keep that down, for all the receivers fumbling footballs in this game. But already it's 3rd and 10 here. Tennessee's defense applying the pressure, and Lumpkin Lumpkin's able to get rid of it to Herman across the middle, and that's going to be another first down. So Cal Lumpkin, again, not really having the most stellar of throwing games in terms of yardage, but I think Sick Naben's really kind of switched up the game plan to kind of feature a lot more running, as we've seen Blackman really kind of show out in the last couple games that we've watched. But now he puts the ball in Lumpkin's hands on a third down. He's going to get clobbered as that ball sails into the dirt. No one is home, but hold on. There's going to be a pass interference call, getting absolutely bailed out by the refs, and we will take it, man. We will take a rare defensive pass interference, and yeah, Coach has a reason to be upset, but I don't care. We are absolutely going to take that, and we are not going to look back. So fresh set of downs, new lease on life. Hand this one off to Sharp, the fullback, and he's going to get touchdown number 3 on the year as he busts into the end zone, and now things are looking a little bit more interesting here on the third Saturday of October, man. Things are looking a little bit more interesting as we tie this game up at the end of the third quarter. That's the only points to speak of. That's it. The only points that would happen. So we have a tie ball game, and we're in another absolute dogfight here in our own stadium. So Lumpkin, deep shot downfield, and that pass is tipped, and Herman catches it. So a very similar play earlier in the game when Lumpkin tried to throw to Herman, and the pass was tipped and hit the dirt. It was kind of offline. A very similar throw just completely sends this one off to Herman offline, like not anywhere near his vicinity. Just throws it where he's supposed to be, not where he is. And Herman ends up catching it off of the tip anyway, and that's going to be a touchdown, as that safety had no idea what was happening. He was probably like, dude, what do you mean he scored a touchdown? So 31-24 is now the lead here, and Boone tries to go for a pass, and he overshoots his target, and John Paul gets another interception in this game, and that brings the total up to 6 between both teams. And that doesn't even count the fumbles that were lost that we recovered for both teams. So a bunch of turnovers overall. But now Lumpkin here and the boys moving the other way here. And Newsom across the middle for another pickup for Alabama is going to get us close to the first down line, but it's not going to be enough for a first down. So on 4th and 1, bring out Owens here for a very long field goal. The kick is up, and it just barely misses, man. I thought he might have been able to scrape it across the crossbar, but no, that one's going to sail under. Or actually, we're going to get a better look and maybe see exactly where Owens pushed this football. And that kick, yeah, I don't know, just missed it wide left a little bit, man. Maybe didn't have the leg for it either, but the lead's going to remain 31-24. But Tennessee can't do much with the football now. Blackman, oh, don't tell me, get the stiff arm up, and he does it. He breaks the tackle. I don't know what to say. He breaks the tackle. I couldn't believe that Lionel Blackman was going to turn this one into another touchdown, and he has just been the saving grace for this offense, man. I don't know what it is, what's in the water, what's happened to Lionel Blackman, but in the second half of the season, he said, no, we're not losing another game. I want a national championship. Probably not going to see one in Lionel Blackman's time as a member of the Crimson Tide here, or at least, as a primary starter. So, but we do manage to score. So 38-24 is your score. And now Tennessee on a 4th down is desperately trying to keep the offense alive, and they can't do it. So that is going to be another turnover, but this time it's a turnover on downs, and we are taking over. So on 3rd and 7, just trying to kill clock here with a minute and a half left to go, but instead, Cal Lumpkin says, dude, we're taking it to him. And he understands the significance of the rivalry, having watched it from the bench, and he's going to completely pour it on to Tennessee here at the end of this ball game as he manages to get Cliff Herman a touchdown here, another touchdown on the year. And that's just his second on the year, as passing has been a huge issue with this offense so far in the season. Not something we're typically used to here in Tuscaloosa. Throwing the football typically is our bread and butter, man. We have a quarterback with 4,000 passing yards every single season and almost 30 to 40 touchdowns every single season. So to have these kind of struggles show up on offense is very alarming, but we're still finding a way to win games, especially the big ones like this one. So how upset can you really be if we're still managing to find ways to be productive and win the game? So we completely outgained Tennessee in a litany of ways. Of course, running the football was our bread and butter. Once again, Cal Lumpkin putting up a very similar stat line here than the one he had in Arkansas. I think he was 15 for 25 in that game with a touchdown. And this one, he's 16 for 26 with 2 touchdowns. So that extra throw managed to get him another touchdown. So Tennessee finishes with only 4 turnovers, but they also have 2 fumbles, one of which they lost. So a very interesting just stat line to point out. Tennessee fumbling the football. We've had games in the past with the Volunteers that have just been complete turnover fest, just complete turnovers galore that have ran the gambit. And that's kind of the story here. That's kind of why these games also end up being so high scoring. in this rivalry games, because there's always a good bit of turnovers. Drake Gates, of course, contributed to that himself, but Cal Lumpkin not contributing to that. So he's been very smart protecting the football here. Just has not really had the passing offense all that effective. It's just something to look at here. But now as we get back to the Hub World, another crazy story gracing the cover of Sports Illustrated, and Arkansas loses. So Arkansas managed to climb their way back up close to the top 5. Remember, they were 5 when we beat them, and then they climb all the way up to 6, and Kentucky beats Arkansas. Kentucky upsets Arkansas. And they were up a lot, man. They were up a lot. It took a 13-point comeback in the fourth quarter for Arkansas to even lose by 2. And unfortunately for us, in the Big Ten, Penn State manages to fall short of Ohio State here. A 2-point conversion gives Ohio State the victory and keeps them at number 2. We really needed the Buckeyes to lose, as much as it pains me to say that as a Buckeye fan. We needed them to lose and Penn State to win, but unfortunately Ohio State holds on, so they're going to stay at 2. But Oklahoma gives us help by knocking Oklahoma State out. Oklahoma State was, I think, 3rd or 4th, and they lose to Oklahoma in their rivalry game. And so Oklahoma State is now knocked out, and they are going to be out. And Oklahoma climbs into the top 10 now, but they're not going to be in our range. So now taking a look at the new BCS rankings, Colorado State, of course, is probably still going to go 12-0 because their schedule is just a cakewalk out of the Mountain West. Ohio State's still at 2. Southern Miss hops us in the rankings, so now the computer likes Southern Miss for some reason, and they're 4th, and then TCU is 3rd. So you have 2 Conference USA teams in the top 4. Can you believe that? But simming a couple weeks ahead, we pick up big wins against Mississippi State and LSU, of course, because LSU's not very good, and that takes us into our final week. It takes us into rivalry week against a 4-7 Auburn, but we are not going to watch Auburn. We just needed to sim a couple weeks and get an update on things. So heading into week 14, we have huge matchups. So, of course, TCU and Southern Miss are going to play potentially for the Conference USA. And, for huge BCS implications. So we need to keep our eyes peeled on this game here in week 14. And then, of course, another very obvious matchup that we also need to kind of focus on and talk about a little bit too here is, of course, the game, Ohio State and Michigan. So if Michigan manages to upset Ohio State, and I guess if we would really need probably Southern Miss to beat TCU, I think, we might be able to slip in. I don't know. A lot of moving parts exist, but I don't know if it's possible. We just need them to win. So, but looking over the updated rankings here in the coaches poll, Colorado State finishes out perfect. Ohio State manages to beat Michigan. Southern Miss managed to beat TCU, so Southern Miss did beat TCU, but if anything, that probably just solidifies Southern Miss above us in the rankings, so that's why I was like, I don't even know if Southern Miss winning would give us a lot of help, but at least TCU's knocked out, so, that'd about do it. So, if Southern Miss can lose their last game of the season, maybe, but we managed to, of course, blow out Auburn, and but now that leads us into championship week. Not much has changed here. We are ranked number 4, and we have Tennessee once again. So Tennessee ran the Eastern Division, so we're going to be seeing them again, back-to-back videos. We've done that before in the past. I hate doing it, but it's happened in the past. So thank you guys for watching, as my voice is absolutely leaving me and is cooked and deep fried. But hope to see you guys in the SEC Championship as we take on Tennessee in Atlanta for like the millionth time again.